Well, congratulations on owning a refresh Model X. Even if you have a refresh Model S, this is going to be probably a little bit disappointing to hear, but there are nowhere near the accessories available for the Model S and X as there are for the Model Y and 3. And that is going to be very apparent once you do just a quick Google search for accessories for these cars. Now, part of the excitement of owning a Tesla is personalizing it and making it your own, making it more convenient to use. And there's a lot of very useful accessories. Now, for the Model X, I pretty much have every accessory available to it in this car today, but there's some other things that you should probably consider having as well, and I'm going to cover all of those in today's video. Now, when you order your Model S or Model X, it actually does not come with a charger, and this did not used to be the case. You used to get the mobile connector with your new Tesla. Tesla changed this a couple of years ago, and now you actually have to pay extra for it. Now, it doesn't matter if you order it at time of delivery or after taking delivery, it's the same price. It's $230 to get that mobile connector. But what it does come with that it didn't used to come with is the adapter for 1450 outlet. 1450 is arguably the most common outlet out there outside of 120 plugs. So for high 240 volt usage, 1450 is going to be the most common available out there. So this does come with the kit, but you want to have the mobile connector. And even if you have a charger at home, it is worth having a mobile connector in your car at all times. So if you're ever traveling anywhere or you ever get caught up somewhere and unexpectedly are not able to make it back home, having that charger is very vital for making sure that you are always covered. Now, what's really nice though is today's public infrastructure is getting better and better every single day. And that brings us to number 2, is having a CCS adapter. Now, it does seem that the industry has finally gotten on board with the benefits of NACS. So the NACS, or the Tesla plug, so to speak, is starting to be more commonplace throughout the country. So public chargers moving forward are going to need to have that NACS connector as well. However, the existing infrastructure today, except for superchargers, does not have a NACS plug on them. So having a CCS adapter for a backup is not a bad idea. Now, I've only used mine once or twice, but the nice thing about it was not that a Tesla supercharger was unavailable or too far away, it was that it was too busy, and that was following a pretty major event. Nobody was really at the CCS right down the road at Electrify America, and surprisingly it worked. But that CCS adapter allowed me to bypass waiting all that time to get to a charger. So it might be worth considering getting one. Unfortunately, with the limited number of companies that make accessories for the Model X, right now even a center console is limited. So I have the one that's available essentially, and there are more coming. Spigen is actually about to release theirs, so once that is out, I'm definitely going to be upgrading to that. But for now, this does serve its purpose. It allows me to put my glasses or any quick reach items that I need right here underneath the armrest. This is definitely worth it. It's not a lot of money, it's pretty cheap, and it's not really going to last and hold up super long, but that's what the Spigen one is for, as soon as that's available here in just a couple of months. Speaking of Spigen, I do have a Spigen screen protector right here, and it's actually crazy how easy it was to install this one. I've never seen one so sophisticated for an install, but now this thing is pretty cool. So I'll show you what this looks like. Installing this, you don't just put a bracket around it, you actually use this as a template to help push this screen cover in place. Now, of course, they have clear and they have matte, and if you watch our videos, you know we have the matte finish, and probably the biggest reason why I use matte is because I film in cars a lot, and by having matte, you don't see my face and the camera while I'm filming. But even without that, I'd probably slightly prefer the matte. Otherwise, you can get the HD clear as well, so you can't really go wrong there with a nice screen protector from Spigen. Now, for that rear screen, you're actually going to have to wait just a little bit longer, because in 2023, Tesla changed the screen in the back. It actually has a much smaller bezel than it previously had with the refresh Model X and S, and now because of that, all the screen protectors out there usually have this fat black edge around it, and that is going to get in the way. It's going to cut into the screen. So Spigen is working on this. They're about 1 to 2 months out on that new screen protector, so that should be hitting the market anytime now. So once that's available, be sure to get that as well. One of the biggest and first things you should put in any Tesla, of course, is all weather mats, and regardless of where you live, these are an investment well worth the cost. And when you're already spending this kind of money, you might as well get the best. So 3D Max Spider, it's in all of my Teslas, always has been. Huge fan, and there's a reason why everybody seems to have these, and it's because they are a really good product. So they make these for all different seat configurations for the Model X, so you can get yours at 3D Max Buyer's website using code BTG to save a few bucks. One of the first things I do with all of my Teslas after I take delivery is I actually put a coating on the seats, and that just helps to maintain them, helps to keep them clean, and makes it easier to clean them over time. Now, this is not real leather, so you don't have to worry about some of the traditional issues with leather. And this is actually a pretty durable product, but the coating that I put on them actually is an annual thing that I do, and it just helps with any gene transfer or any other stains. It helps make it easier to keep those from really digging into the material. So I do this on all of my cars. It's not terribly expensive when you consider the fact that I get 2 to 2.5 coats out of one single bottle. So I've been doing this since the very beginning of taking our Teslas, and I continue to use this product today. Once you have the seats protected, if you do have kids, having a seat protector is money well spent as well, because even with the seats protected, your children are going to have crumbs of everything underneath that car seat. So I have always used this same car seat protector in all of my cars. It's worked well, no issues with it. Pretty simple, pretty inexpensive. Link in the description, of course, if you want to check them out for yourself. I think they come in a pack of 2 as well, so worth having. I've always had them in my Teslas. And then moving to the outside of the vehicle, I also put PPF on all my cars. Now, I do not pay a professional to do it because it's just too expensive, but I do it myself. And by doing that, it's about $2,000 or so to wrap the entire car. So that is very affordable compared to what it would cost to have a professional do it. Now, you can also do just the front end if you like, but for me, as OCD as I am about the paint and my kids being all up and down the side of this car, I love having this. And actually, somebody tried to key this car just last week, and because of the PPF, my paint is fine, and I only have one area that didn't self-cure. Drive Protected Shop's PPF, both matte and the clear, has a self-healing property. Basically, what that means is in the sun, in the heat, the material actually forms back to its original shape. So when there's a scratch on it, most of the time it can actually work itself out. And that's what happened here. So there's very little evidence that anybody tried to do anything to the outside of this car, thankfully, because I have PPF. So you can get yours at Drive Protected's website using code BTG20 to get 20% off of your order. Whether you're planning to have PPF or not, having a ceramic coating is a no-brainer, and in my opinion, the biggest ripoff at most professional installers. They want hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of dollars in some cases, to ceramic coat your car. Now, the product itself is not cheap, but it is not $1,000 for the product. They are literally charging you hundreds of dollars in labor for something that you can very, very easily do yourself. Now, I have traditionally applied the For My Tesla ceramic coating on my vehicles, and I've actually just received the new version of it. It's actually a one-step process. So previously, you would have to do it over the course of 2 or 3 days to get that ceramic coating on there properly. The new version of it is a high concentrated version, and that allows it to actually go in one coat. So it's going to be a little bit even easier to install. You cannot mess this up. This is the easiest thing to install. So basically, you do a 4-foot by 4-foot section at a time across the vehicle, put it on, wait for it to shine over, and then buff it off and work your way around. Usually I do a whole panel, one panel, so like the whole hood I'll put on, wait for it to gloss over, and then buff it off. Super easy. It's not just about the gloss and the shine. It actually does have some protection. So if you go through a car wash, as an example, it can, not always, but it can help protect your car from getting scratches from that. It can also help prevent scratches from people brushing up on the side of your vehicle. And then, of course, the obvious reason, it makes your paint shine really bright. It keeps it glossy. And actually, on road trips, when you have a ceramic coated front, it is a lot easier to get the bugs off. Even if you have PPF, if you have ceramic coating on top of that, bugs come off a lot easier. It's a lot easier to clean your car, and it's just too easy to do not to consider. Now, if it's under $100 for the product, it is not a ceramic product. So make sure you get good stuff, good quality stuff. ForMyTesla.com, you can get yours. BTGCC is the code to save a little bit of money on that. And number 10 on the list is a Roadside Kit. Now, the one that I have, I've put together myself with assorted goods. There's actually a whole kit you can buy now, which I'll link down. Plus, you can make your own kit like I did as well. This is something that I carry with me all the time, and if I'm on a road trip, I make sure that whatever car I'm in that road trip has the kit with it. But it's basically a tire plug kit, a tire inflator. I've got some basic tools there, and I have body pry tools, but do not forget to have pucks for lifting the vehicle, because not every shop, even today, knows that you're supposed to lift a Tesla in a very specific way, and having those pucks is not at every single tire shop. So this is something nice to have just in case, and even just if your tires are a little bit low, just having that air compressor just to pump them up a little bit anyways. Definitely worth it. Not terribly expensive to do this. So there you have it. Unfortunately, there's not a huge list of awesome accessories to go with. Let me know in the comments, did you recently take delivery of a Model X, and what is the first accessory you plan on adding to yours? Now, if you want to see more about the refreshed Model X and see if it's right for you, be sure to check out this video right here. I really appreciate you joining me today, and I can't wait to catch you on the next one.